Okay, so for this video, we are going to talk about graphing quadratics in from their general form. Okay, general form is the one that we saw previously in section 1.5. It's that ax squared plus bx from plus c. Now, because we don't have it in that standard form and we don't really want to go through that completing the square process to get it into a format that looks like that, one of the ways that we are able to find our vertex is we are able to do negative b over 2a. And then in order to find the second part of that, we're going to be able to do f of, or basically plug it back in. Now, again, if a is positive, it's going to open up. And if a is negative, then it's going to open down. So that's all still going to stay the same. Now, the process is going to be very, very similar as far as the questions that we ask for this. So again, the first thing I want to know is, does it open up or down? This, again, just to give me a basic idea as to which way it's going to go. Next is I still want to find my vertex. Now, there is going to be a little bit more math in doing this because I actually have to process some values to find my vertex. Our x-intercepts, we're still going to set our function equal to 0. More than likely, you're going to have to solve this using some sort of either factoring or quadratic formula, more than likely. You could do complete square, but probably factoring or quadratic formula are probably going to be the two big options there. The y-intercept is actually going to be the really easy math for this one, with that plugging in 0 just because of the format. And again, we're going to plot and graph. So I'm going to go ahead and get the one that we're doing written down on our board here. And then we'll take a look at how to process this. So here we go. We're going to look at negative x squared plus 4x plus 1. And again, I'm going to go ahead and get my grid space running down here so that I can start to graph this as we're processing. So first thing again is I want to know whether or not this opens up or down. Again, we see this negative right up here in the front, which means that we know that this opens down. Again, doesn't do me a whole lot of good right now. Just helps me know that when I start getting my plots and my dots on my grid space, that that's the shape that I should be seeing. Secondly, I need to find my vertex. So we start by doing negative b over 2a. So we have negative, my b is 4 over 2. My a is going to be negative 1. So we've got negative 4 over negative 2. Dividing that, I get 2. And now we're going to plug that back in. So I've got negative 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 1. So 4 squared, or excuse me, 2 squared is going to be 4. So I've got negative 4 plus 8 plus 1. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So I have the point 2, 5. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that, grid that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go ahead and get that lovely point in place. There it is. Okay, now for 3, I need to now find my x-intercepts. So again, that means I'm going to take my equation and I'm going to set it equal to 0. Now, working with this, y'all, and knowing how the factoring stuff works, y'all, I've got to multiply to get a 1. There is not a pair of factors that will multiply to make 1 that will combine to make 4. So factoring isn't even going to be on my radar for this right now. So I'm just going to go straight quadratic formula. So again, negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We do see some familiarity there with that negative b over 2a portion right there. So we've got negative 4. And again, I do encourage the use of parentheses, just to make sure you don't miss anything through the signage. Okay, so I've got negative 4 plus minus square root, that's going to be 16. I've got negative times negative is going to be positive, so that's 4 times 1, so that's plus 4 over negative 2. So I've got negative 4 plus and minus square root of 20 over negative 2. Now, because I'm going to a grid space with this or a graph space with this, I'm not going to try and simplify this, okay, and try and get some sort of like negative 2 plus and minus 2 square roots of 5. I'm not going to try and deal with all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do negative 4 plus square root of 20 over negative 2. And then I'm going to do -4 minus square root of 20 over -2. And we're going to wind up getting negative 0.235 and 4.235. Okay, so plotting those points and getting kind of as close as get. This is really close to a quarter. So I'm going to kind of spot that in, and this is at about 4 1/4. So it's going to be about there. Now, I am going to go ahead and do kind of the same trick that I did before when we were graphing out of kind of vertex form or standard form. I'm going to go ahead and draw in that axis of symmetry so we can see it. Now, this one, because those x-intercepts are not as clean a value, it can sometimes be a little bit more challenging. But notice I was here clean on 2, 1, 2, and about 1/4, 1, 2, and about 1/4. So we do still have that kind of same matching of stuff. So now to get my y-intercept, we're going to plug in 0. And I mentioned before that this is really pretty math because it's 0, 0, and I just get 1. So my y-intercept is at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in. Now, again, same trick as what I did on the last one. That is clean pretty 2 units to the left of our axis of symmetry. So 2 units clean and pretty to the right. I could put in a mirror matched point so that I have it. Now we're going to play connect the dots. So I'm going to make a nice, pretty rounded shape this way. Nice, pretty rounded shape that way. And there is my quadratic graph from general form.